Shooting bridal portraits in a studio can let you experiment with your lighting, let you create some really dynamic frames that might be very difficult to get if you were out on location somewhere. So today we're going to take full advantage of our studio. We're going to make a really simple lighting setup with one strobe, but we're going to get a really dynamic photo out of it. So let's get started. This is the Neewer Academy. All right, so here we are. We're in the studio today, and who's with me? It's a spooky ghost. Oh, it's Hope. Hope is here. Hope was in our RGB 1200 promo video, and she also helped us out with a high-key bridal shoot. The high-key shoot was soft contrast, bright light in the background, really kind of washed out, beautiful light. This shoot is going to be kind of the opposite. This is going to be our low-key light. So we've got this veil so we can hit it from behind with a light and kind of make it glow. We've also just got a flat black background just to kill all light in the background, so everything's going to be focused on Hope and that veil. In terms of gear, we have our QPro flash trigger. I've got it on my camera, and I'm just going with one strobe today. This is the S101 400 Pro. I can dial in my settings right from my Q trigger, and that's it. We're just gonna have one light for this setup. Very simple setup, but very, very, very cool results. So let's get started. Let's get our light set up. All right, so here we are, ready to set up our one and only light. Notice that the veil that Hope has is very, very transparent. So it's made of this really fine sheer material. Anytime as photographers we see this material, we need to get a light behind it. So like a liquid, a plastic, glass, sheer fabric like this, lighting it from behind just makes it glow, which is what we're doing right now. So we've got our 400 Pro here behind Hope. Hope is in her mark right now. If this light was directly behind her, it certainly would make that veil really pop. It would also probably put this light in my frame, and it would certainly give us a really nasty lens flare. So putting it off to the side behind her shoulder, really a good spot for it. We're still gonna light that material up, but it's not going to, end up in our frame. So how do we find our power setting for this guy? What are we aiming for here? You'll notice I don't have a camera, I just have my light meter and my QPro. So with this, I can get everything I need to get my final exposure. I'm gonna shoot at f11. That's what my camera's set at. I see no reason to change it. It's a good place to be. Everything's nice and sharp. This light, I don't want to be reading f11 because I think it's gonna be too dark. I want this to be a couple stops brighter. So I'm gonna start moving my settings around until I can test this to be hitting it like an f22. So that's going to be 2 stops brighter than my exposure, which is, I think, right where we want it. So let's get this guy powered on. Make sure my flash is on. And right now it's set at 64th power, so it's down pretty low. Let's just see what this gets us. So that's showing me that we're at F4 right now, so we really need to power this guy up. So if we're at a 64th power, I'm gonna go up to 16th, and let's just see what we get. All right, moving up, we're at F8. So this is half power. Let's just see what we get. There we are, 22. So if we wanted to go a little brighter, a little darker, we can do that adjusting it while we're shooting. But I know right now that this light is going to be 2 stops brighter than my exposure. That's a great place to start. I also know from my positioning that I think it's going to be a great place to start. But we don't know until we get everything set up and start taking pictures. So let's do that. All right, so we're ready to shoot. We've got our light set up. This is going to be our spot. Hope's on our mark. We're going to put the veil over just a little bit higher, just like that. So I think that looks good. We've got our bouquet, and I think we can start taking a couple of pictures, see what we look like. Now, my first couple of shots here, I'm just going to sort of take a look at my positioning of my light, seeing if I need to adjust it, seeing if I need any bounce, just kind of looking at that stuff through the viewfinder or the display back. So let's just take a look at what we get. So this isn't gonna be a, wow, that's cool. So that worked out really good. I like that I can still see detail. I mean, I really think that's fun. We can still see detail there, so we're 2 stops hot, but it's not like so hot that it's just pure white. And I think that, you know, the light looks good. Honestly, I think that I don't want any fill, because if I had fill, it's gonna kind of ruin the drama of the photo. So I like it. So we're gonna start doing some posing, and let's just get some shots done. So there you go. What a simple setup. Just a single light off behind the shoulder, backlighting that veil, and you get this beautiful, beautiful result. One thing I should mention, I said we weren't using any bounce, which we technically didn't, but our studio is white and we've got these light colored floors. So when this light is, you know, hitting our subject, it's also hitting the walls, and some of that light is spilling on and creating a little bit of fill. So if you try this in your own studios and you're disappointed with the results, you're not seeing any more light coming out, then get some bounce, get a flex fill, have somebody hold a bounce card, and some of those shadows will fill in with a little bit more information. So get out there and try this one. This is a really fun one, really simple. I hope you do it, and we'll see you in the next video.